Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 3 of the grand finals for the CDEC New Star Challenge. I'm LD.
Hello, I'm Gods.
Hello, Gods. How are you?
I'm great. This DK and Newbee having another epic series.
Radiant
They had
team
3 best of
back.
3s the other day. I mean, no series by no means was like epic or like super. Oh, I remember that series, but every game they play is just great, great to watch. Like that really sums it up.
Yeah, even when one team wins, it's never like, oh, they just played like crap that game.
Yeah.
It's if they lose, it's normally really good play from their opponents, not really sloppy play.
And even
from
game one
the
when
losing team.
game one when Newbee won convincingly, like DK didn't play that badly. Like it was just Newbee just executing a
Reserve
perfect
time.
strategy.
And they just snowballed it.
Yep.
So, well, let's see who has the better strategy now, guys. Game 3 is underway. We're going to hop into the draft, and let's check out what the teams are up to. It's first overall pick, Doom. This is one of the heroes that teams have been opting not to give away generally. Occasionally we'll see the Doom go through, but you normally want a good trade in return, and DK, true to form, if they can get their hands on the Shadow Demon Mirana, they will. Last game, they first picked Mirana. Newbee picked up the Shadow Demon to block them, but it's just been a game of trades from the word go as of late, and, well, the trades so far, Doom, Shadow Shaman, Shadow Demon Mirana, both teams getting a lot of strong heroes, and Newbee's mid-game in particular looking very fearsome, but DK with that great early pressure lineup with these 2 picks.
Yeah, so does reveal what is most likely their support duo. Every now and then they'll occasionally run Burning as a core Mirana, but not really. I mean, MMY Mirana is just so much more they go to, so we'll see what else they get. They didn't get either the Tide or the Enigma, and that's normally the DK opening, so they are trying to mix things up here in Game 3, whether they think this is a stronger opening or if it's just something they're trying to, like, I mean, DK is always looking to experiment. This is a grand finals and all, but TI is just around the corner. They're still using these matches to try figure out the best way to draft, the best way to play against Newbee especially. This is going to be one of the big contenders at TI.
One of DK's toughest opponents at TI to me. I feel like they're by far the Chinese... Well, IG also can give DK problems. Those are the 2 Chinese teams that, to me, DK struggles against the most. They're like 9-0 against Vici Gaming, so I don't think they're too worried about them. Not to say Vici can't beat them, but yeah, Newbee, IG, the 2 biggest opponents for DK to worry about from the Chinese scene, and out of those, Newbee's the team that's taken the most games off of them lately.
This was a premeditated Void pick as well. They were, I think, planning this from the very first pick because the last 2 games DK banned it out themselves, so Newbee's probably expecting DK to just ban it out again, or, I mean, Newbee themselves, they want to ban Mushi's OD. This is the 3rd game in a row they ban it. They just aren't even really considering Void, or at least not something DK would pick. Or if it's left in the pool, they're probably thinking, hey, we can 3rd, 4th pick Void, but DK have the last ban, which maybe Newbee would think would be on the Void, and insta-pick the Void. Works great with the Mirana, because obviously you can follow up the Chronosphere with 5-second arrows, and now Newbee have their work cut out for them, with DK having, like, what looks to be kind of a set strat here.
Yeah, I do really like Razor matching up against Void, though. He's normally very tanky, difficult to burst in Chrono, and if you don't catch him, or even if you do, if he's popped the ultimate, you start dropping pretty quickly. So the other issue for DK here is they don't actually have... You mentioned the arrow setup with Chronosphere, and that's nice. But
I thought this
there
was
you
coming
go.
too.
I was going to say, they need more damage to go on top of the Chrono, and they've
man.
got their support.
I'm
so.
like, Chronosphere, Disruption,
Sunstrike.
like, this is like a perfect game for an Invoker. Like, let's see it.
This is an essential pick. They need especially the AoE of the Invoker, but even just having Sunstrike to go with the first use of Chronosphere often is a kill. So now we're probably looking at a Burning Void, an Ice 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 Invoker, and something else for Mushi for the offlane. I suppose they could run the Void offlane if they really wanted to be greedy, but
Unlikely.
yeah, it's an offlane Dire Void as well, which is going to struggle, and it could be a Razor safe lane, which can really punish the Void.
I mean, good news is there's still some Mushi heroes there. I mean, obviously, they ran a lot of Centaur Invoker back at Starlighter, but if Centaur gets banned out, Mushi's also played a lot of Nyx Assassin, so I think he'll be comfortable on either of those 2 heroes. He's a little uncomfortable just being in the offlane in general, but they kind of play around that, and he does play a lot less aggressive than Ice 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 in the offlane, but still gets the job done, gets his levels generally, even if he does do so in a more safe defensive way.
Yeah, and ultimately, any fall off in the offlane play when we rotate Mushi there, I think they make up for it with Ice 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 just playing like a beast on the Invoker.
Yep.
So, yeah, I like this pick. It also means a dual core, which is what you want against Doom. You don't want to just be running like a one position only Void. So, yeah, this is looking pretty good now for DK. And, well, as for Newbee, they've got more of the group up and push lineup so far, but they'll back off for a TA. Something that can deal with the Invoker mid, can even win the lane if you play it just right. And this will be a real test for Mu going up against Ice Ice Ice's Invoker. We'll have to see if he can handle the onslaught 5th ban now coming the way of DK. Newbee will need a secondary support most likely, unless they're playing ultra greedy mode. And there are some jungling supports out there. There's Enigma potentially. If they don't want to run that, they ran the Lesh the other game. I don't think we'll see that this time around, but Twin-Headed Dragon is not a bad option here if they just want to push early, and if a misplaced Chrono can really work nicely. Rubik, I suppose, is a possibility to steal the Chrono. But yeah, we'll see what support DK wants to ban now.
Yeah, I think Rubik's one of the really good options. Ancient Apparition, not bad as well.
The one here I think Newbie may want to ban also is Darkseer. Darkseer works really well with the Void. You vacuum them into the Chrono, you put Ion Shell and Void. Very effective there, and it's a hero that if he does get zoned out of the offlane, can go into the jungle. So I feel like Newbie should consider that or the Centaurs the ban, and no, for DK, they'll go Enigma. Yeah, I mentioned Enigma as like the safe jungling option, and
yeah.
They're assuming this will not be a 4-position Doom, which is a fair assumption.
Darkseer would give DK an insane teamfight, but it's also like another kind of, well, it's
also
a
matches
long
up well
cooldown.
against TA.
Well, the big problem with Darkseer is like vacuum's a long cooldown. I think they may just want like a more standard stun to help follow up like disruptions with and like give them a better mid-game teamfight. Like Nyx Assassin is actually kind of more suitable to like constantly having to fight a bit.
Or Centaur.
Yeah.
But Newbie are thinking Darkseer, they'll ban that one out, and I guess DK will go a different direction. They'll go a very different direction. They'll go for the Mushi Quap, so they'll avoid this Invoker versus TA matchup. They'll probably give Mushi a Sentry at level 1 for when he goes mid against TA, and that's going to make Mu sad in the lane. So we'll see an offlane Void, it looks.
Offlane Void or Invoker, depending which way they want to play things, but... Could they even offensive trialing? That's what I'm wondering. Like Void obviously they don't have much killing potential with the offensive trialing, but it gives Invoker a 1v1 matchup. Shadow Shaman, Razor +1, like it's not easy for Void to farm by any means, but I think as long as you trade farm, like offensive trialing is okay-ish. Like Void does not need a free farm away this game.
Well, with this ES pick as well, it's gonna be tough to go aggressive, I feel, for DK.
Yeah, it's very tough. Burning Invoker, what? It is going to be an offlane Void. Burning going to be playing a safe lane farming Invoker.
No way.
I have never seen Burning Invoker.
They're going to swap, man. No way. No chance. No chance. I'll believe it once the creeps spawn if he's still handling the Invoker.
Look, DK don't normally do the swapping shenanigans.
This would be it has to be his first recorded game on Invoker. I'm gonna double check that right now.
Yeah, that is just insane.
Let's check it out here. We'll go for Burning.
Let's get the Dat Dota going. So if I'm shocked. Like
Burning has 0 recorded competitive games on Invoker.
I think it's Invoker. I don't think DK do this.
And he's played 388 games. Like he's been playing Dota 2 virtually since it came out. He's never played Invoker in a competitive match.
Okay.
We've got a pause here from Hal. Maybe Roland can translate for us.
What's going on, man?
Make yourself useful, Roland.
What's going on? What does this mean? You meant to say it out loud. He'll translate it for you. Where's your Chinese, LD?
You render me someone is shitting, says Roland.
That's the exact translation.
Wow, you get the real stuff here from Roland. Doesn't pull any punches.
How the real talk. So, all right. I know. We believe you, Roland. Don't worry. We believe you. All right.
This gives you time to tweet out the Burning Invoker picture, God.
Dude, man, I'm...
Get on your social media.
Well, I was realized I didn't actually post on my Facebook. So I was like, I better post on my Facebook. You know, facebook.com/bdsgods, the place to go.
Is this like an intimidation bathroom trip that they're a little afraid of this Burning Invoker?
All right.
You know, the one thing is if he can play it well, it makes things a little bit trickier when DK draft an Invoker, because generally if they draft Invoker, you know Ice is going to be playing it. He usually goes mid, and then Mushi just goes off lane. Like, we've never seen them put Burning off lane and Mushi into the safe lane, really.
Yeah.
So it just makes it harder to draft against DK when they pick up Invoker, if this experiment works out. So I think it could have strategic implications down the road even for TI.
It's a good thing to just be flexible, and I think that's where, for a while, DK were in a quote-unquote slump, not having some of their best showings, and that was often when they were picking Invoker a lot, and Mushi just kept going offlane, and he wasn't really that suited to the offlane. Maybe 71's basically said, like, look, if we want to run Invoker, like, safe lane or something, like, we can't have Ice constantly switching lanes, putting Mushi offlane. Burning even played, like, offlane one game, I remember. Like, Burning was offlane with Ice safe lane Invoker with, like, Burning on an offlane Weaver or something. It was just... It's not really how DK want to be playing things, so...
Yeah, I think it strategically adds a lot if they pull this off.
Yep.
Like, imagine if Bernie just goes ham this game and just crushes.
Some secret Invoker training being going on.
Yeah, then... Well, he's got... If not the best Invoker player on the planet, then on the very short list of best Invoker players in Ice. And, yeah, who better to train under? You know? Maybe they've been doing a little 1v1 mid practice.
Well...
We'll just wait and see.
I'm looking forward to seeing this, and there's so much killing potential. Disruption, Arrow, Sunstrike. I mean, you don't even have to be a god of Invoker to hit Sunstrikes on disrupted targets, not to mention with an Arrow to help you out as well. So, not much Newbee can really do about that. They don't have good countermeasures to prevent that from working, so... We could see the supports roam off, leave Burning kind of solo, and that's going to be your offlane Doom. So Invoker 1v1 against Doom with Forward Spirits against Doom, who's got 0 base armor, can just wreck that lane as well.
Well, unless you get that lucky Wildkin or
yeah,
Satyr with the HP regen.
Yep. Well, we'll see what
the viewers are clamoring for the Wex Exhort Invoker. I don't think we'll be seeing that.
With this draft, no way. No thank you.
With any draft.
With any safe lane Invoker, like, is almost... I've only seen safe lane Invoker once go for Quas Wex.
No. Wex Exhort.
Wex Exhort.
Not Quas Wex. Yeah. I don't think
that's
we'll
like
that. You're missing all your best lockdown.
I didn't realize Wex Exhort was a build.
No, it's not.
Please.
I want it to be though. I wish
please.
It's maybe someday the Frog will make all 3 builds legit.
Yeah.
That should be the ultimate goal with Invoker, I feel, is to make all 3 strains of Invoker play
what does
equally
Wex
valid.
Exhort give you? Like,
gives you like just your
Chaos
Meteor.
Meteor, but you get Chaos Meteor. Like, you just need the 1 point in Wex, and you can go Quas Exhort with 1 point in Wex, and you still have your Meteor.
Right.
The problem is Wex's scales, like, your Exhort spells, like, you get extra range on your Meteor.
Trust me, I understand why it's not good. I'm just saying the ultimate goal should be that all 3 Invoker skill trees are equally valid. But
what about the equal distribution between all 3?
The one of each?
Build? Yeah.
No.
Well, not even like 1 of each. Like at level like 10, you have like a 3-3-3-1 build.
No.
Why not? You want all skill trees. That's one of the skill trees, LD. Like you want
not with the current way.
You want the 3rd skill tree. I want the freaking 4th skill tree. Okay.
Okay.
Like please, show some respect to the Quaswex Exhort Invoker build.
Yeah, that's the most efficient Deafening Blast build, I guess.
Yep. That's yeah, it's the Deafening Blast build.
Too bad the cooldown is insane.
Oh man.
Well, guys, we've got a bit of a pause here.
Yeah.
We're just relaxing, waiting for the bathroom break to end for Newbee. They're defecating in terror of the burning Invoker right now.
I think they just didn't have time. Like, yeah, just had a 70+ minute game, so yeah, So Quap will be mid against TA. I mean, we've talked about picks and stuff. Nothing more to go on about. I don't know. Whose draft do you like more, LD? What do you think?
Lanes, I guess, are a big factor here. I think Quap will do well against TA if she's pulled a Sentry, so I think that lane goes well for them. I think the Invoker should match up well against Doom unless he gets really lucky with the creep, so I like the 2 1v1 matchups, assuming DK do consider an aggressive tri-lane. Their tri-lane is not the strongest with the Void there. The other option is just that they run the off-lane Void and just roam with the Shadow Demon Mirana, and that's still pretty good. I think I give DK a slight edge, but all these Newbee heroes can snowball as well. Razor, TA, and Doom, so there's always that X factor. If they just get a really easy matchup or get a good creep for Doom, then suddenly they take over in the mid game.
Yeah, DK have the kind of more explosive killing lineup, and it synergizes so well that I think it looks stronger, but Newbie have annoying tanky heroes. Razor, Doom, both going to be hard to kill. Doom probably going to just go for like an early mech build. Razor, or actually I guess Razor could, and then Doom just, I mean, there's going to be early BKBs for sure on both those 2 heroes, maybe even before an Agcept on Razor. TA's pretty just durable with Refraction up. Moo likes to go for like early drums, BKB builds, so I think Newbee's lineup is deceptively just tanky and hard to kill, and could just, if they avoid the early ganks and don't give too many kills up early, I think they have got a decent matchup come mid game. but it's hard to say. Sancheng played a great Earthshaker game 1, and that's where I like Newbee's draft just because of how well Sancheng played Earthshaker already today.
Yeah, and I think he needs to have a big game. They have a Doom, and that's really where it ends for their team fight lockdown.
Yeah.
So if he's not hitting big fissures, initiating properly or counter initiating, then they got nothing on this DK lineup, who have mainly just Chrono, but Chrono is very, very easy to land in the fight. So let's see. We continue to wait here as the pause drags on. Must have been quite a meal.
Yeah, I don't want what he had for dinner tonight. I don't know. Whew. I'm still catching my breath after last game, LD.
Yeah, it was a fun game. It took a while to reach its conclusion, but DK just didn't make any mistakes really.
Yeah. That was where DK, like, their late game decision making is up there with the best of them, so it's hard to beat them late game. Like, even when you're ahead, they'll defend high ground so well, and we saw a bit of that in game 1. They were just way too far behind, but there was a recent game of theirs, I think it was against Newbee, where Newbee were ahead 10k gold. They got the they were on Radiant trying to push top lane. They got like the tier 3 tower early, still their 10k gold lead, but it took them a good 15 minutes to get Raxes in. It cost them so many lives and so much that DK suddenly were actually had the late game advantage and won the game. Came back from like a 10 to 12k gold lead, and that's something where DK late game just execute and team fight so well. Jawade's sorry, although it looks like it doesn't mean we're ready to go.
I think that's sorry. This might be a while.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's not a solid one, is what he's saying.
Okay. Thank you for
There's
that.
an awful lot of poop talk at the BTS house. Like, I've just walked in the kitchen, like, you and Andrew are just talking about poop, and I'm just like, all right, I'll roll with it. I don't know.
It's part of life, man.
Yeah, I think it was you
we
guys.
have cats as well. Cats poop a lot.
Yes, there's a lot of talk about cat poop at this house too.
Well, there's a lot of cat poop at this house, so of course there's a lot of talk about it. It's only natural, dude.
Be there. You don't have to. We don't have to talk about it.
When it's stinking up the bathroom hall, then
Yeah.
can't be avoided. Well, guys, the game resumes. Now we've got Dota to talk about. Let's get into it. It's going to be game number 3 of this best of 5, all knotted up 1-1. DK on the Dire, Newbee the Radiant. We'll run through the lineups quickly. On Newbee side, we've got Xiaowade as the Doom. Songsheng going to be playing the Earthshaker. Mu going solo mid as the TA. Rushing the bottle. Banana, the Shadow Shaman, and that will leave Hao as the safe lane Razor. It looks like DK not going to go for the potential aggressive challenge, just Ice into the off lane with the Elder Timebreaker, the discontinued item. Mushi has been pulled the Sentry I mentioned to deal with the TA. He'll be going mid as the Quap, and they have Lanham on the Shadow Demon, MMY, the Morana, and Burning will in fact be playing the safe lane Invoker. Burning's first ever competitive Invoker game.
Oh damn! Well, I'm looking forward to the Burning Invoker. I feel like this is something your carry play needs to do. Like VG Gaming have been doing a lot of it with Sylar. IG do it with Luo. It's definitely sometimes drafts will call for it, and that's where you don't want your offlane player suddenly in the safe lane, because where do you put your carry player? Carry players aren't built to play offlane. Like, offlane is honestly the most like unique role in the game. Like, as far as the way you play it, it's like you're not playing Dota often. Like, you're on like an island sometimes, and that's where like your team needs that versatility. And DK is showing it here with the potentially showing it here. Burning hasn't shown us anything yet.
Yeah, let's not assume this will go well for Burning, though. I think it would be exciting if it did.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it does. Haystern comes for MMY, and looks like Newbee may run a dual lane here in the off lane. They'll be running the Doom Earthshaker. They'll Fissure block just to get the Doom his early levels, and they're setting up for it now.
Yeah, I like this. This is kind of what DK were trying to do for their Doom in game 1 with the Enigma, but it didn't work as well. Sancheng actually knows.
Gonna let the range creep go. This will mean the lane really pushes in. I like that.
Yeah.
If you block the whole wave, then it will push in, but not as hard.
They're going to just tank it. MMY is going to be annoying and wait for the next creeps. He'll tank the creep. Well, actually, no, he needs... Yeah, Burning got the block of his life off as well, so...
Yeah, that was an impressive block.
Yeah. It's still going to push because the range creep dies first, but... I think he just wanted to fissure the whole wave. If he fissures the whole wave, it does push out more, but... In the end of the day, Doom will still get levels here. And will even walk up for Devour.
Well, ultimately, yeah, like you said, Doom will get his levels, and Burning trying to zone him out a bit, but unable to do so fully. Meanwhile, Ice in the off lane. He's gotten the poor man's shield. He's been pulled regen. He's sitting on 6 tangos against the Razor, which he will need is how anytime he sees Ice enter the lane, we'll just static link him and start leeching that damage. So both offlaners can have their work cut out for them. Xiaowei, though, always has the option of going jungle. Ice won't have that luxury, and they're going to wait mid. If Mushi ever gets over aggressive here, there can be a fissure counter initiation, but not going to go for it.
Both offlaners able to at least leech experience. They can't really do much to Ice with the poor man shield 6 tangos. Even if Earthshaker's down there, you're not killing him. And that's where Earthshaker says, well, I'm better off protecting mid and maybe helping out in the top lane. As, looks like Xiaowei actually going to leave the off lane for a bit. He wants to go grab a big creep. There's only a Hellbear waiting for him in the left camp. But Sansheng, while this is going on, will try and get some experience. Sentry Ward, is this in range at top? I don't think so.
Why is it not letting me zoom in? Huh?
You can't zoom in anymore. You only get to zoom out.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of annoying for sentries.
Yeah, you don't get
I think it's just out of range, yeah. Just out of range. That's some bad luck. Probably expecting one to be more over here, but not finding it.
Alright, well. Regen at top, Mirana picks that up, but Mirana hasn't been able to offer any pressure just yet, but always the threat there. And an arrow on Mu or someone at mid lane with a Sentry Ward support, Mu will be giving up an early kill. So there's your Shadow Strikes coming out now. Mu tries to meld dodge it, and it doesn't work, so he knows there's a Sentry smack dab in the middle of this lane, because that is not going to work for him anymore.
Yeah, he probably already knew, because Mushi had it in his inventory and just dropped it in the last 30 seconds, but, well, it's just instinct to try and meld dodge that.
Yeah, he's got the bottle, so it doesn't really chew through much of his mana pool.
Yeah, meld's only 50 mana anyway.
Raze at bottom, having a good time, installing more damage from Ice, who's battling it out with his Shadow Shaman.
The nice thing about it, yeah, is doing all that damage. Like, normally Void can bully supports, especially Shadow Shaman with really low base move speed, but
he's bullying them in other ways by blocking the pull camp. He just doesn't let it spawn, and this is like the alternative to having to ward block it.
There's a smoke gank from DK, and Sangsheng's waiting, but I think they're gonna sneak around him.
He may now. He's heading out. He's gonna head mid. I think he's.
And the wave's pushing top. Well, actually, no, it's pushing against him. Never mind that.
First blood bottom.
Fun strike. Turn around for Burning. He's gonna snipe him out.
Burning Voker, man.
Wow, Void dying solo to a Razor.
And Xiaowei scouts the smoke gang. So MMY and Lamb get scouted out, and they actually may be in a bit of trouble. Great fissure.
A ton of trouble.
He's got no leap. He's level 1 still.
But they have nothing to chase him except Xiaowei. Can he get in range for that last right click?
He's got boots.
Can turn around and throw out an arrow. Lana may just try to body block
Fissure
for a bit
in 3
here.
seconds.
Fissure cooling down. Does he have the mana for it? He does. If he hits this on 2, it's probably going to be a double kill. Focusing on Lana. They'll take the Shadow Demon, who runs back to try and keep the Mirana alive.
I think he should have gone for the Mirana and
then back for the Shadow Demon. Yeah.
He would have taken 2 right clicks for the Mirana, but I think he could have got Mirana first. Either way, it's still a kill. A kill's a kill, but it could have been 2.
Man, Razor killing Voids 1v1. That is very unusual.
The fast phase boots, which
I guess with the phase boots you can just run them down.
But
yeah, still, you have time walk, you backtrack, and if you're really getting dove, you could like time walk over the tree line. So pretty difficult kill, I would say, nonetheless.
Burning gets the counter kill though, so I think end of the day, that's still like the trade. The Void for the Raze obviously good for DK. And
but Burning gets that experience with the kill, so he's almost got Midas, and he's already level 5.5.
No, I think that's a good trade for DK. Losing their supports, the Doom though, that's obviously not really. If that's part of the trade, then probably not. Ice still losing damage here, and Razor not enjoying himself.
Mid lane Mu is struggling, but the refraction was timed nicely, and they can't quite finish him off even with 3.
Okay, so Earthshaker going to make himself present at this mid lane to possibly help any further aggression. And this Sentry Ward will expire in the next 30-40 seconds or so, which will make Mu have a slightly better time, but they can always bring out more. But it is expensive to keep having Sentry Ward smack dab in this lane.
Yeah, for the time being, Mamushi is not having the easiest time, all things considered. He's had a bit more backup here mid, and still only slightly ahead in terms of farm. And now Mu's hit level 5. That's kind of your sweet spot where the Queen of Pain struggles more. At this point, hitting for 130 per all attack.
Just trolling. We're going to hit Banana. Sunstrike as well. Ice is going to get this kill. That's a 5-second arrow. Oh my gosh. He was just tanking himself there. Unfortunately, he will go down in return. He's got no time walk out. And this damage steal, I think, is going to be... Disruption is there.
Time walk.
No time walk still.
Still not available. And the backtrack luck needed some serious RNG to get out. Lanham also probably going down. The arrow coming through, but it's not going to be a very long stun. This is the lashes from the Razor just to completely beat him down. It's 192 bonus damage on the Razor.
That was such a cool kill in the Shadow Shaman, though. Maybe not worth it when you lose 2 in exchange, but Ice was like on that little ward cliff, just trying to tank neutrals and creeps.
Yeah, yeah. I had my camera there.
Oh my god, what a troll.
It was unfortunate, but in the end, it's still a really good trade for Newbee. Giving up 2 for your support Shadow Shaman is well worth it.
Lamb didn't have to die. If he just backed off and left Ice, it would have been fine. And getting a support kill as an offlaner and dying for it is generally, I would say, okay and worth it. Although you are giving a kill to a carry bed.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was a 2-for-1 though.
Yeah.
So. Well, Burning's already got Midas. That was like a 6-minute Midas. Getting the kill on the diving Razor really accelerated his farm and level progression.
Yeah.
The double Fort Spirit should be out by like 9 minutes.
Yeah, he's doing so well in this safe lane.
And then Xiaowe's really got to be nervous about staying in the lane.
He's so, like, almost 20 CS of the Razor, but that's where Razor's been going for these kills. And, like, he dives the tower, he misses a lot of CS along the way.
Arrow's going to find Xiaowe along with a Soul Catcher.
Nice.
He's trapped and surrounded by the Dooms. And he will go down.
Well played. Bernie needs to KS better, though. That's something which, as a carry... I mean, as carry players, you actually don't like KS kills anymore.
Well, as Invoker, though, you accelerate... You just get such a huge upgrade from the double Fort Spirits. Like... Yeah. Most heroes getting level 9 is not a very big deal, but for Invoker, that's a game-changing level. So I think KSing is completely fine.
It's alright. He'll give Shadow Demon the lane and go Midas a big creep, so he's almost level 9 now.
Yeah, he's still going to be insanely fast level 9. And DK going in the mid game with just the scarier draft. Honestly, Newbee have some decent pick-off potential, but DK have fantastic pick-off. The Disruption into Arrow, the Sunstrike, Chronosphere combo... And they've almost got all the tools they need. The double Fort Spirits are coming online. And somebody's going to have to sit top and defend against this Invoker. Anytime they're drawn elsewhere, at some point the tier 1 just falls top. That's almost a guaranteed tower down.
Yeah, and Zhao can't really defend that too well on his own. Does have the Scorched Earth to help drag creeps off the tower, but he wants to jungle. He wants to farm, get his Midas up, start building towards a late game, help him farm up items like his BKB, Blink Dagger, whatever it may be, and... Well, DK bring their supports back top, which does suggest they want to go for this push. Burning about to hit level 9. Needs some solo XP for one more creep wave, and we'll pretty much have it.
No! Meanwhile, bottom lane, Ice dropped the Chrono. He found Banana for an easy Sunstrike setup, and
there's your level 9.
That's just a guaranteed kill. Like, there's just no way you can miss that Sunstrike. There's so much time to set it up, and plenty of damage with the Void. Now getting close to his Tread, so not the best farm for Ice, but that's all you really need is the offlane Void. Just get level 6, Sunstrike, and it's an easy kill.
Alright, well, top tier 1 tower, you said it's going to be pushed down nice and early. Sandshank's rotating up there with level 2 Fissure, but I don't think
fighting into the double Forge, and it's a level 4 Shadow Shaman. They can stall this push, but they are not stopping it just with these heroes. They need more, and more they'll get. Doom is coming. He's got his ult, but he's afraid to go in against the Forge Spirits.
He'll devour 1, turns 2 into 1, but...
Oh, just resummon him, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. Burning 10 seconds away, he'll have a resummon fairly soon, and they've already forced 3 heroes to rotate, so they'll probably send the supports elsewhere, try and punish some of these other lanes. Razor bottom getting very aggro here, and with Queen of Pain showing up.
He's stolen an insane amount of damage. Mushi's gonna have to throw the whole combo. The Sunstrike is there again, Burning with the easy killing spree.
He's got 2.7k gold. He's got Necro 1 already, and
to be fair, most of these Sunstrikes have been total gimmies, but nonetheless. He's hitting them, and he's getting the gold.
I think the most impressive thing right now about Burning is his CS. He's got 73 CS. Like, the kills and the Sunstrike, those have all been very basic. Mid lane MMY is going to go down, but... I mean, Burning CS and farm is just phenomenal right now.
Yeah, and once he gets the Necro Book leveled up, even if they lose heroes here or there, he's going to be taking towers. But Newbee, do fine too. Shadow Shaman Ward's not ready yet. He's only level 4, and unfortunately, I don't know if they even get a tower off of this, but they'll at least do some chip damage to it.
Burning not in a good position to create counter push top lane, which is, you see 4 heroes mid, you want to be on that tier 1 top tower, but he was doing a pull, and we'll start pushing now, so maybe he'll try to tell his team, just stall mid lane, try throw some arrows, stall the push, and I'll get the tier 1 tower, and then Burning could theoretically TP in after that, but...
There's a Sentry Ward for Newbee. They actually do see Mushi, and they're going to fissure him. They need the Shackle to connect. It will, along with the Doom, and Mushi just gets caught out. Completely mind game by Newbee. They just played it dumb, and they saw him the whole time. Just waited to get in range for the double stun. And
he even had the dire Sentry Ward was mid, so he's like, well, if my Sentry Ward's there, that means they don't have one in mid lane, because otherwise the Sentry would be getting dewarded, but he was just too far away. If he actually moved forward, he would have gotten out of range of the Sentry and been okay.
Doom does get a blink, and this is pretty important for Newbee. Now they've got some proper initiation. Blink into Doom, But nonetheless, you still look at DK with the Book 3 Invoker as a very big problem for Newbee. They constantly have to be worried about keeping him down, and as he gets more farm, their access to Roshan will improve.
Yeah. The like 13 to 15 minute Necro 3 is just disgusting to fight against.
It makes Invoker like 2.5 heroes, honestly. Like between the double fort, already the double Fort Spirits can take a hero, and then you throw the Necro 3 on top of it, and the Invoker being level 11, you really struggle to fight against it.
You can't kill the Necrobooks off of that stage. You don't have the damage and no one has the HP as well to survive the Necro return damage, and it just instantly burns the mana pool of Doom, of TA. Earthshaker does have mana boot, so I guess he can try and help his teammates out there, but I imagine you just you right-click either the TA or Doom, and there goes their mana pool. There goes their ability to fight.
Yeah, if Doom gets mana burn, he might not even be able to get off his ultimate, honestly. Let alone if there's a few auto attacks from the mana break creep.
This has got to be one of the fastest Necro 3s I think I've seen on Invoker going for this Midas Necro 3 build.
Yeah, he was gifted a few kills by his team, and Burning has made the most of it.
Yeah. He gifted his team some as well, though. Like,
that's true.
He wasn't just taken; he was also given.
He's Santa Claus and Gandhi all rolled up into one, I guess.
Well, Newbee, I think, content to try and take a few more fights now while they can before Invoker gets too goddamn fat. Smoked up. They're actually going to rotate up top, and with a Blink Doom. It is a realistic kill, but burning after this creep wave, I imagine he backs off, so they've got to get there fast.
Meanwhile, they're going for Banana, and he will die bottom lane. Let's see if Burning gets caught. Newbee jumping in, looking for him, and all the Doom comes out. He gets fissured as well. This is a great trade for Newbee if they take down the Invoker, but will they be able to finish him off? The trap comes out. He's still pretty tanky here. I think he's actually going to end up living. He's got 2 Quas Orbs invoked, so he's healing up a bit through this damage, a lot of stolen damage. They've got to commit to the kill, and they will do so. The backup was cancelled, and DK, they lose their incredibly fat Invoker, which is, in the end, an excellent trade. But, do Newbee get a tower? That's the question. Because DK have already taken one.
It's a weird fight. They let him get back to tower and then tried to chase and bring him off afterwards. They did have some vision thanks to an Observer Ward, but yeah, it was weird. It was awkward for Newbee going for that kill.
Nonetheless, awkward or not, a kill's a kill, and looks like DK won't go. They won't defend. They'll actually give up the tier 1 safe lane and just steal some stacks here. So they do get some additional gold going there.
Well, DK have Ice flying out. No, just a Ring of Aquila. You often see this on your offlane voids, and he's not looking too farmed at all right now. But the thing is, you go for this first item Aghanim Scepter, and it's just such a nice subtle build-up that you just buy the pieces one by one. The Ogre Club makes you tankier, the Point Booster makes you tankier, and you can just fight so much better because of that and stay alive a lot longer.
Yeah, and the Aghanim Scepter is good when you have other heroes to deal damage, which they do. They have Queen of Pain to do it, they have Invoker to do it, so it's the right game for an Aghanim's Void. We've seen Universe go for the Mask of Madness Maelstrom build, and the times where he's done that is generally when they have more like tempo controllers, just crowd control type heroes mid or safe lane, so I think it's a good game for the Ag. We'll probably see Ice work towards it.
Yeah. Well, bottom lane, DK want to keep on pressuring. Burning's actually making his way down there. Almost as his Necrobook 3, so looking at around a 15-minute Necro 3, this is a pretty standard safe lane Invoker timing. Now, with the death on himself, it did slow it down a good minute and a half, 2 minutes. So they're looking for potentially a Chronosphere. Sunstrike's ready to go, and DK with Sonic Wave as well on top of that. That's even How with 1350 HP, he'll just instantly die to that.
Oh, if they jump on How here, I'm not sure it's the best idea. You can see Newbee are in a good defensive position. You can drop the Shadow Shaman wards in Chronosphere. They do continue to auto-attack, and DK could get caught in an awkward position.
Yeah. And it's also a case of, like, sure, maybe you kill the Razor, but if you throw too much to kill him, and the fight may not go your way with the counter initiation from Newbee.
Right, exactly.
TA has got a Blink Dagger, so has got that mobility, combining with the drums here, so that's where it's not just the Razor to worry about.
Well, Newbee want to make a play, but DK are spread nicely to deal with this Lanham. Will he get caught out? He gets doomed before he can actually pop the disruption now. Chased out, and from the backside, will they go in? Mushi's been spotted. Ice still waiting in reserve as Moo begins chase. They have a fissure. It's still cooling down. Can't find him now. MMY into the trees. Doesn't actually have a TP scroll. Not sure if Newbee caught that. Oh, they might have with the plasma field.
Just barely out of range. That was so close to hitting him.
While that was going on, Burning
Out at bottom. Cronus here with the Sunstrike and an arrow on top of it.
They go back in, but now the Fissure, the Shackles might turn it around. How? He has mech, he couldn't get it off with stun just long enough. Meanwhile, Sangsheng dropping an Echo Slam.
That's a misclick.
Well, that was not what he wanted, but I think they still get this Ice kill anyway. They do. Now they chase for MMY. I'm not going to find him, though.
Mushi shows up now as well with a Sonic Wave, so he could look for a kill. Sunstrike will still be on cooldown for another bit of time. He actually invoked away from it, so no Sunstrike for now. But DK, defending this bottom lane going to be tricky. They don't have Chronosphere, and Chronosphere is like their initiation tool right now. Unless they get a disruption to Arrow, but that means Lamb has to be on the front lines, which is probably not the best idea.
Here come the wards. They're dropped at the tier 1 safe lane, and Newbee begin the push. DK backing off a bit. They don't have Chrono. Void's still dead, and not feeling confident to take a fight. They Arrow Moo, but do they really want to go on the TA? Refraction is just cooled down. Perfect timing for Moo to tank that Arrow and turn the fight, and looks like DK are just going to be forced to back off. Forfeit the tier 1 safe lane, and Newbee getting some momentum going back their way after that turn. But because DK took the tier 1 mid, Burning took that while the fight was breaking out bottom. End of the day, it's still a pretty good trade.
Still DK with a slight edge on gold. 1k gold lead going their way, 2,000 experience lead, and they are going to group up at bottom. Burning TPing all the way down there, which means they're probably either going for a push or maybe even an early Roshan. Necro 3 also very nice for taking these early Roshes, and that may be where they're headed.
Well, yeah, like you said, the Roche is likely on the horizon for DK, but I'm not sure if they'll go for it just yet. They probably want to find a pick off first. They're just going to go right in.
There was, like, Burning TPing bottom doesn't really make sense unless, like, I mean, you could push the bottom tier 2 tower, but that's a long way away from where the creep
This is a risky Roche, though. They have Doom online. Traps can scout out the pit.
They see it.
They don't actually have a medallion or much minus armor here, and it's mainly the Chrono. That's the key for DK. If they get a good one, the Roche will be theirs. If they airball it, or if Newbee get the jump, it could go south. Arrow, barely dodged by Sangsheng. The Fissure's already been thrown out. They've trapped DK into the pit, but Ice can leap his way out if he needs to, and now they'll go in. They initiate on Burning. They doom him and start stealing his damage. Moo is going to focus him down. He gets disrupted, but he's still going to go down to this. The Chronosphere's there. Mushi comes in from the rear, but they've already lost Burning. He'll buy back instantly. Land him also being chased down by Hao, who continues to slash away at him. He'll bring him down, but they've taken 2. The buyback comes through, and now the trade is they've lost 3 on the side of Newbee, and, well, they're going to lose more now. MMY has been brought down. How with the stolen damage is single-handedly turning the fight and making it a decent trade. Mushi blinking for the right, but How continues pursuit. It's a 3-for-3 with the buyback on Burning. They may lose Mushi as well. He blinks out just in the nick of time. The Sunstrike comes through, kills off How. Then the deny on the neutrals goes the way of DK. So in the end, a slight victory there for them. But very slight. And they did have to buy back.
Great 3-hero Chronosphere from Ice was perfectly placed. Combine it with the Sonic Wave from Mushi, and DK pretty much, I'd say, slightly win that fight off of that. They do get prevented from taking Roshan there, and the other good thing that happened was Zhao Wei, he died in the Chronosphere only because he took so much damage also by killing the Necrobook. He had Scorched Earth, killed the Necrobook, which Roshan left on like 18 HP. Newbee get Roshan though.
But this is really good for Newbee. They get the Aegis and...
With Chronosphere on cooldown, every time Chrono's on cooldown, Newbee can get an objective. Last time it was the tier 1 bottom tower, this time it's Roshan.
At the same time, Newbee do have a long cooldown in Doom that they rely on as well, but it was also just a matter of the cooldowns being ready at the right time. Yeah. Like, they had the wards ready, and DK had nothing. Chronosphere still cooling down. Invoker just bought back and wasn't really wanting to risk a Roche engagement.
Well, with this, Newbee buys some time, and I feel like their next timing's going to come when they have the BKB. Zhao 8, very close to his, but I think more importantly they want Razor and even TAs. TA has not started one, but has 2k gold, so we'll see Newbee go for triple BKBs for their core heroes, and then they'll be much more teamfight ready.
Yeah, even though there's a Chronosphere to lock them down, there's not much physical damage aside from the Invoker. But, as we're discussing this, Sangsheng gets caught out top lane, chronoed, and quickly dealt with. Burning will take a page out of your advice and easily secures that kill with the Sunstrike.
Yeah. Not too big a deal. I guess Urshek is trying to farm his Blink Dagger there alone. So the Blink Dagger will be slowed down. But when he respawns, if they want to go for another push, Chronosphere's down for 80 seconds. So there's no tier 1 towers left. So these next objectives, tier 2 towers, you have to push out a lot further and put yourself much more in harm's way. So it's a lot trickier to actually get these tier 2.
Yeah, that's a solo Chrono that can't really be punished. The lanes are pushed in. Newbee are not in a position to take an objective. So I really like using Chrono like that. Just find the pick off and do it at a time when Newbee can't respond.
Yep.
Like, even if they immediately 5-man down mid...
Oh, Arrow hits banana top. Oh, painful.
Quickly dealt with again by Burning.
Burning's like, thanks guys, I'll keep taking these kills all day long. They're making him look good. He's 6-2-5 right now. But
it's not even fish in a barrel. It's like It's like shooting canned tuna or something. Like there's just nowhere for the fish to go, and he just keeps on popping them.
Well, I mean, Burning's Invoker. This game's making Burning's Invoker look good. Not to say it's bad by any means, but Invoker's one of those heroes which is not that hard to play. Like the way
to go the net to do the flashy plays like ice style Sunstrike, that's hard. But these blind unsupported Sunstrikes, but your standard Sunstrikes with setup are pretty easy. And even like the micro and the mechanics, early to mid game Invoker is piece of cake. Like you have 3 spells generally speaking, because you go for this like 1 to 2 points in Invoke, and if you're Exalt, you have Forward Spirits, Sunstrike, and Cold Snap. If you're Quaswex, you have Tornado EMP and Cold Snap. It's not till much later on where you need to start using 5 to 6 spells in fights. Let's see if Burning gets to that stage. They gets the Boots of Travel on the Invoker, the better to split push quickly, and Newbee, still the team that seems to be just not farming quite as much around the map. Although they're keeping it close with the Roche Steel. It's dead even in terms of gold for now, and experience still slightly DK's way, mostly courtesy of the Midas. The main thing I feel Newbee would really enjoy and need is a blink on one of their supports. The ES died earlier. Shadow Shaman getting one would be huge as well, but without it, their only initiation is Blink Doom, which is, yeah, you doom them, but then they can just start running away, so it's really not the ideal first hero to go in most times. Newbee, I mean, they're grouped up. There's farm at top, there's farm in their neutrals, but they want to kind of group up and take a fight with this BKB timing of theirs. They are vulnerable to Chronospheres, but for now, it looks like they are going to try and commit to this. Moo will walk forward. They drop down a sentry just to make sure there's no shenanigans for Moonlight Shadow, and they begin to work on the tower. The tier 2 mid now under heavy assault. Newbee pushing forward with the wards. They drop them, and DK do not seem like they want to take a direct fight. They'll split push with Burning top lane. Ice is ready in position. He's switching to int treads. If this arrow connected, I think he would have gone. He's still trying to find the opening here. Let's see if he chronos. He's still waiting. He's still waiting. He's going to let the tower fall first. Nice deny. And now they try to back off, but they've gotten Lanham doomed in the meantime with their hesitation. Now Ice comes in. That's a perfect chrono. Mushi unwinds. The Sunstrike's there as well. That ult hit everyone, but there's a BKB. Oh, I don't know if it's enough. They're going to stand and fight their way through it. And Xiao 8 not even taking damage. Poppy's BKB as the nukes came out. And in the end, Burning does push through the top lane, but perfect setup. Just not much follow-up. Burning gets a tier 2 as well as some damage on the tier 3, so not a bad exchange for DK by any means. I mean, the kill on the Razor is your hard carry for Newbee, although he's a hard carry who has all his kind of core items right now with the BKB complete, so... I feel like the TA is more of the hard carry. Yeah, in a lot of ways. TA now BKB complete, so... It is still an important hero, though. For Newbee, it's a true tricore. I feel Razor, TA, Doom, they're all... I mean, we're going to look at those 3 heroes all with similar net worth, and that's kind of where we stand right now. And it'll stay that way for most of this game. So for DK, I feel it was okay, but it wasn't like a win by any means. If anything, I think Newbee gets slightly better off of that. Yeah, they get the tier 2 mid, which is the more important tower than the tier 2 top lane, and they get the 2-for-1 exchange. So a bit of a win, but not an overwhelming victory. It's not like DK could have got a better trade. They're fighting against an Aegis TA, so they didn't want to go for an all-out engagement battle into an Aegis. So yeah. The Chronosphere came to them. It's like, look, if a Chronosphere presents itself on 4 heroes, they take it, blow up the Razor who does not have Aegis, and who doesn't have time to cast his BKB. If he gets it off his BKB, he probably lives there. Just one of those moments where you're like, man, I wish Burning was here with a Deafening Blast Meteor. 4 heroes on top of each other in Chronosphere, but sadly he was not. The Doom actually got to cast his BKB, unlike the Razor. Yeah, arrow comes through, won't connect on Lanham, but one more right click from Hal will secure this kill. He's got plus 275 to go with his base damage of 87 for a total of a casual Divine Rapier. Lamb is unfortunately picking up where he left off last game. Already 7 deaths to his name this game, but... Yeah, this game we have not really felt Lamb's presence, but he's up against Doom, and Xiao's just going to blink Doom him every fight, because if you don't, whoever you Doom gets disrupted. Yeah. His positioning unlike last game, I thought he played amazing last game. This game, his positioning at times has been a bit bad. Like, when he tried to save Ice in the bottom river early on, when he should have just left him to die, among other things. Like, he gets caught he's been caught out a bit too close to the action a few times. And the one worry for DK is that their teamfight does seem a bit harder to execute. Like, they need a perfect chrono with Invoker and Quap ready to drop their combos. Whereas Newbee just kind of dropped the wards, pop the BKB/mech, Doom blinks in and dooms. You can't really mess that up, generally speaking. And it's just, you know, it's pretty straightforward how they take the fight.
Yeah. T2 tower bottom does go down. Ice gets to farm up all these Serpent Wards though, so they're pretty juicy. Some good money going his way. He's up to 2.5k gold, and I imagine it's an Aghanim Scepter. I don't think he feels like he needs to go DPS. Like, Invoker has great late game DPS. I mean, all magic damage against BKBs, which I guess they don't have much physical damage necessarily, apart from the Forward Spirit's Necrobooks, but I still think Ag Scepter is the way to go.
We'll see what he wants to do. He has not purchased anything just yet, up to 2.8k, and mech now coming out for MMY, so it's a pretty late mech for DK, but could be the difference in these fights. Maybe save a hero that's doomed, make yourself more of a doom target, where otherwise Shadow Demon's just the obvious choice. But they'll wrap around towards bottom. DK smoked up and looking for openings. They do drop an Observer Ward here as they move through the enemy jungle. Meanwhile, Newbee content to sit back and farm and farm the other side of the map.
They smoke up, but like they send the courier across the river. That's never smart to do. Like, you're on the other side of the map, sending courier across river, revealing your position. So it's just kind of sloppy, like un-DK-like plays, which they wouldn't normally be making, I feel.
Yeah, we've seen them use the courier very tactically in the past, but this is just a straight delivery.
Yeah, just to deliver the mech. The Observer Ward only barely scouted it, so maybe it wasn't noticed, but it's like they don't know where the Radiant Observer Ward is. It could have just scouted everything.
Tower does get denied mid, and Moo will back off as DK muscle forward a bit, but they're not going to fully commit to this, and now the rest of the team will rejoin him at the base. Mushi going to blink out. He's got an ult orb. I guess the one thing worth mentioning is Mushi has quietly kept up really well in terms of farm. He's at 165 CS, and he's actually the second most farmed hero when it comes to creeps. TA just barely ahead of him in net worth.
Yep.
He's got Lincolns and now works his way towards a Hex. And I feel if Mushi gets big enough, Newbee's only answer for him is really Doom. And with Lincoln Sphere, that makes it a bit trickier.
Yeah. It does have a feel this game, though, that we're going to see another kind of longish one, and that's where I feel Newbee, though, their late game, having Refresher. He's going to go Shivers and then probably into Refresher. And
yeah, Doom trumps all if you get that big. Unless he just dies before getting it off.
Great wraparound here. They find Ice. No Chronosphere. This is an easy, straightforward fight, even with Hal taking an arrow. DK on full retreat. Burning's just, I mean, he's 6-2-5, but how many fights has he actually been at? I would say at most like one team fight around the Roshan pit.
Just one of those things, like, he's their only split push. I guess the Quap can a bit as well, but those two need to be split pushing, and he needs to be there when the Chrono gets dropped for a team fight, so just hasn't found the right opening, I guess.
Yeah.
They'll need him to find one soon.
He's found a Hex, so I guess that's nice and all. That's a questionable Sonic Wave.
Didn't really hit much, though. Refracted TA and the Doom, I believe, is all it cost.
That's a 2-minute plus cooldown. Like, Sonic Wave is one of those really long cooldowns for whatever reason. I mean, I guess it's a good spell and all, but like compared to like, I don't know, like other ultimates at level 2, like Chronosphere is just 100 seconds. And
it's a level 3 ult as well. It does a lot of damage.
Level 3.
Yeah. So the cooldown's still very long even at level 3. It's just that it's very important at that point.
I guess they're not planning to fight anyways with Aegis up, so it's like, yeah, maybe we do some action. I don't know what he's planning there, but
no, that was just a bad ult. But you know, he's scouting, maybe hoping he can like chaos the Roche or something. And
yes,
it works out to be bad, but
I think you're right there. The chaosing Roshan is probably what he was aiming for. But,
yeah.
Bottom
doesn't
lane,
mean the idea was bad. It's just the result was that it was a pretty easy result.
In theory, you could, like, with Void using a Chronosphere, they could look for some solo pickups. Like, TA's farming alone. Like, sure, there's an Aegis there, but you could use a Chronosphere just to get rid of Aegis, but not going to happen.
So he wants to go and move bottom lane, but he's got BKB and Aegis. The one thing he doesn't have, though, is a TP scroll, and there's backup on the way. Burning's inbound, and Mushi's baiting this one out. Burning will come in now. He drops the Hex. He has used it quite early, but Moo's going to die once, and he comes back for round 2. But backup's inbound, and he should live.
Mushi will just TP. And that's a good pick-off regardless. I mean, that's kind of like, I mentioned something like a Chronosphere just explore Aegis. I mean, Invoker rotating in with a Hex just to get rid of Aegis, which it just lowers the threat of Newbee going for a high ground push and siege, which they can start considering with their item pickups right now. Like, TA's up to 4k gold, potential Desolator, potential Daedalus. Like, the late game items are coming where they can do a lot of damage and siege high ground just with 1 or 2 heroes in the front lines, and that's where Chronosphere doesn't do much. If it's just TA with Aegis on your high ground, you're not going to use Chronosphere on that one hero.
Don't forget Razor. If he pops his ult, eventually his double ultimate, you chrono him, great. He's still zapping you the entire time. So, yeah, I feel Chronosphere is not necessarily, like, chronoing these heroes is not necessarily the best. Not to mention Doom is building tanky, Shiva's Guard is coming out. If you don't burst them in chrono, they pop BKB, they doom you, and the fight turns. So I feel this is where, like you said, DK are going to need more damage to take this late. They have the Ags coming now for Ice Ice Ice, but it's time to turn their attention towards some late game items. They'll get the Hex on Mushi. They already have the Hex on Burning, and from here, I mean, maybe we see like the Assault Cuirass come out for the Invoker. Aghanim Scepter wouldn't be too bad just to be able to spam your spells. You can go Refresher for the double Hex and the double Meatball combo, but they need more damage, end of the day.
Yeah, and this is where maybe Void becomes like their main farm priority when they're not fighting or whatever it may be. Like with 2 hexes completed, I mean Mushi not there yet, but more or less 200 gold away. I think Void's the one you'd love to get some late game items on.
Well, the problem for him is these two are taking a lot off the map. The Invoker and the Quap are constantly split pushing, and Ice 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 also doesn't have much map control for himself. So he hides in the trees and even time walks to the furthest corner of the jungle.
The other big problem for Ice 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 is he's actually the #1 Doom target. Anytime Xiao can blink Doom him, he will do so, because that's the end of the team fight for DK. Even with hexes, they can't really fight into Newbee. Like, everyone's just so tanky, they can pop their mechs, their BKBs. They can't, I mean, maybe you focus down one person, single target with a hex, but beyond that, I don't think they can do too much.
Yeah, there's 2 damage dealers for DK, the Invoker and the Quap. There's only 1 crowd control in the Void. So you kill the crowd control and the fight's over.
Newbee will take a free T2 tower. They kind of have to keep backing off. The lanes are pressuring out, and they're not really in a position where any race to kind of try and siege high ground. They can back off, even if they don't use this Aegis to pressure a tier 3 or a Rax, they're going to be quite happy because their heroes still getting more farm, still scaling well. Hal's got his Ag Scepter, Doom's got his Shivers, but both of these heroes would love a Refresher. Shadow Shaman would love to tank up. TA is going to have a Manta style, actually, of all things, and they're just still getting more and more farmed.
Man, Newbee are slowly pulling ahead here, and in terms of towers, it's equal. Both teams have killed off all the towers. I believe there was 1 tower deny, which Newbee got earlier, so they have a slight advantage there. They also stole the Roche, so they've gotten a little extra gold off that, but they are just pulling ahead in terms of pure farming right now. So Devour definitely playing a role in that.
Well, now they're going to smoke up and look to find a pick off and then maybe consider sieging high ground. They are grouped up with all 5 going down this way, and it's just Mirana who they find, which is not really an ideal target.
They go in right now. The Shivas comes out. They have used the Doom just on MMY. He gets disrupted. It'll be... And do they find anyone else? That's not the ideal target. They almost caught Bernie, and now they're looking for more. They find Lanham as well. He gets caught by a Melt Strike. Mushi's going to drop his ultimate, and in comes Ice Ice Ice. Unwinds the Chronosphere. It's a nice one to start, but he's taking the threat of a lot of damage from TA. He's forced back quickly. He's actually cleaned up quite a few. Mushi, well, in the end, is the only one left standing along with Ice Ice Ice, but Hal's dropping fast. Will they be able to kill him off in time? Looks like they can't quite do it. Mushi was the one who found the triple kill as Ice 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 retreats out, but now Mushi, he's got to run. The Meld Strikes are coming through. He'll be forced to blink out. There's a blink forward available, and he's going to go for it. Disruption's there. They have a Meld Strike. Gonna let it fly. Brings him down. That's a 700 gold bounty. Moo's left to his own devices, but he's too strong.
These support, everyone's just so low on DK. Like, they're throwing spells from the side, but they can't engage right now.
Well, they got to be careful. Moo might jump back in here if they use too many spells. Looks like he'll finally retreat.
Yeah.
Let's see. So they bought back on 2. They bought back on the Mirana and the Invoker there for DK. So I would say in the end, a bit of a win once again for Newbee.
Yeah, Moo having a haste rune at the right time in that fight as well, helping out. Yeah.
That was a fight where they doom Mirana as well. Like, really, they get a kill to start the fight, she buys back, but really not the hero you want to doom, and they still took it.
Yeah, I think they were thinking, oh, it's just a free pick-off, and those free pick-offs it's worth using the Doom for, because it's not the longest of cooldowns, but DK decided to fight with Doom on cooldown. They wanted to take the fight. It did not go well for them in the end, though, and Newbee going to be pretty happy with the end result. Earthshaker got caught out in a really bad spot. He got hit in the Chrono. He tried to waddle on in. I think he was like, oh, we just Doom one. We're winning this fight, but the buybacks meant he was completely out of position getting Chronoed, and he was the first Newbee hero to die, so he didn't even get off a fissure in that team fight because of some questionable positioning, but the reasoning was because they thought they were just finding pickoffs. It was actually DK turning and fighting.
Yeah, Ice 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 has been on the ball with his Chronospheres. That was another 3-hero Chrono. Unfortunately, the Quap ult didn't do that much in the fight. They still ended up, though, doing pretty well. Mushi gets the triple kill, has another 1,000 gold, and, well, DK trying to continue to find farm, but you just have to worry about the double Doom. That's the clock that's ticking right now. Xiao 8 has the Perseverance coming. Refresher's on the way. He's about 2,000 gold short, a little bit more, but if this game goes on another 5 to 8 minutes, he's going to have it, and then DK that's where they almost have to just rely on buybacks, I feel like. Like, you get double Doom, that's okay. Just buy back on 2 heroes as soon as they die.
Yeah.
And then take the fight.
Yeah, the Doom Refresher is really going to be... It's so tough for them to fight. And the rest of the Newbee just have to tank up. I don't even think Hal's going to go for a Refresher this game. I mean, I think he might, but I don't know if it's... I think the best bet is just tanking up even further. Like, getting some more armor, getting Heart of Taras, getting Heaven's Halberd. I don't know, getting something just to tank up more as Razor is probably your best bet right now. Just so you don't die in the Chronosphere. So many times Hal's just dying in the Chronosphere to the Exort Invoker as well as other things. Not to say, I mean, he still may die even with more HP, but...
Yeah, let's see what he does. He's sitting on 3.2k gold, so if he wants a Reaver, he's pretty much got it. If he does want to go for the Refresher, he's got about half of the item so far. So he'll think it over. Moo, meanwhile, has gone for the Manta. Hasn't gone for a big damage item yet, and he's still been by far the highest damage output hero for Newbee. So imagine Moo picking up a Daedalus, getting that next damage item. DK don't really have an answer for him aside from Chrono, and they can't really just focus on chronoing TA. There's the Razor to worry about. There's these supports who are squishy but have a lot of teamfight impact in Shadow Shaman and Earthshaker. So I think TA will be by far the biggest threat if this goes late for DK, and they'll want to prioritize her, but not quite there yet. Still needs the next item.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Manta style, but I mean, the movement speed just helps out a bit, although he had a haste rune last fight. I think if he had a Daedalus, he could have maybe got more out of that last fight, but he'll get there eventually anyway, so it's just part of his 6 slotted items, which he's, like you say, we're getting to late game. DK kind of on the back foot right now, even with the hexes, even with the team fight that the Chronosphere gives them. They have to play very safe. Ice is in the trees at bottom, and Plasma Field
man. Wow, he's going to TP out immediately.
So Banana has a blink bit.
The thing that concerns me is he's not farming. He's just hiding in the trees. Ice is sitting on 109 creeps. So they're really counting on Mushi and Burning to be all of their late game damage output, and if this goes late enough, the farmed Void is going to be by far, in theory, the biggest damage dealer. But in practice, without the items, he'll only be a Chronosphere for the team.
Well, it's he who has the most core heroes does best, and I mean DK drafted a 3/4 core lineup with Void in the offlane, Mirana as a support. But
well, that's a 1 core lineup when you throw the Doom with Refresher into the mix. So.
Yeah, and I mean you look at how many heroes actually farming. They've only really got 2 heroes farming, whereas Newbee have 3 heroes actually farming. So they've got a true 3 core, whereas DK realistically it's just a 2 core lineup with Quap and Invoker farming.
Agreed. They will try and sneak a Roche though. Ice time walking in. I imagine we'll see Mushi joining him fairly soon. The Maranas are going to throw in a long-range arrow, and into the pit they go. Chronosphere's found Xiao 8, but he's tanky. He's got a BKB. If they don't focus him down quickly enough, he's going to be able to turn this around and drop a Doom on somebody. He's still alive for the time being, but he's trapped in the pit and can't make his way out of this one. And the wards get thrown out. Burning on the retreat. Banana going to hunt him down.
He's trapped by the Serpent wards.
But fortunately, they're allied, so not attacking him. He would have died otherwise. Arrow coming through. That'll be a helpful arrow that enables Newbee to take an easier Roche with no Chronosphere. All they can hope for is a time walk in, but Ice, he sounds the retreat. He backs off, and Newbee will get a Roche going their way. That's almost the Refresher for Xiao 8. The mech helping to keep him alive there. Nice play by Hao to do that, and once the wards got dropped in the pit, DK just couldn't take the fight.
You have a dire side Invoker with a 50-minute Necro 3, and you'd think DK, like, you tell me, like, show me these drafts, tell me that. I'd be like, yeah, DK at least get the first couple of Roches, and all 3 Roche ends of this game have gone to Newbee. That's where DK's plan and strategy has largely fell through. Not being able to control the Roche end pit has been their undoing.
They're just not a very quick Roshing lineup. Invoker's the only hero that's good at it. And then Ice goes in again. He does have the 1-minute cooldown, but Hao kept alive for now. He's got cheese. Can he get it off before dying? Can he get it off? Oh, Ice almost let him live. He comes back and cleans him up, but they'll lose Mushi for this. They've lost 2, 3 counting the Void who just fought back, and there's an insta buyback. Ice marches back in, but he's got no chrono. It's just a tactical zoning time walk as Xiao 8 pops his own BKB, and it's Hao who's cleaning up, slashing through with the lightning. This Razor's the one who's too strong. With the buyback, he's still got cheese, and the ultimate cooling down in 25 seconds. Mushi will try and slow it. They've got wards in 15. Newbee continuing their assault on the high ground while DK just try to hang on. The Chronosphere, it's close. 18 seconds to go, but Newbee, it seems they're the ones to take the first lane of Rex. The Shadow Shaman ward's almost ready. He's got the mana in about 5. They don't even need them. The first lane of Rax have been breached. They've lost the melee, the range, likely to follow next as Moo continues to commit to this one. He'll get it. He may lose his own life. No Doom available,
Blinks
and
out.
well, the Chrono catches too. Ice Ice Ice, he's ready once again. Another nice Chrono from him. Scream comes in, but they're ready to turn this around. They go into Mushi with the shackles. They hold him in position for now. They'll Echo Slam, they'll club him, and they will bring him down. Another death for Mushi.
GG.
That's a dieback, and that's GG. Newbee, too good, and they take DK out in game number 3.
These teams just keep trading games. They had 3 best-of-3s the other day. It ended 4-4, and here they are in a best-of-5 grand finals. Newbee taking game 3 in really impressive fashion with some great team fights, dealing with what looked like a very potent DK combo. The Invoker, Faceless Void with Sonic Wave on top, plenty of AoE, not to mention the ganking power of Shadow Demon Mirana, but Newbee just held their own. They dealt with it. They played around the Chronosphere cooldown. They played around the Roshan pit better than I've seen any team really ever do before, and getting all 3 Roshans really was the deciding factor for Newbee.
Yeah, the first one was quite close, and it actually just came down to they just had Shadow Shaman wards. They had 1 extra ultimate, and
Yeah.
DK had used all of theirs. They'd used the Chronosphere, they had used the Invoker combo. He had just bought back. Bernie didn't want to risk dying again. I feel like that first Rosh just set the tempo for the rest of the game.
Newbee were taking, DK were taking team fights with the Chronosphere where they'd trade evenly, and then Newbee would just there'd be no Chronosphere, so Newbee could just do whatever they wanted during that period. And DK with the Chronospheres, they had to flat out win the team fights, which just didn't happen as well as they would have liked.
Well, Gods, going to game 4. Do you think Newbee can close it out, or do we see that game 5?
Look, they trade games so much. Who knows? I think when Newbee's winning games, they're looking more convincing. Like DK won a game where Newbee still looked pretty solid, although DK came out on top. I think Newbee's definitely the more convincing team, but DK just have this X factor about them. So
yeah, they just have. It's like they press the magic button, and then beautiful things happen.
Yeah, I think Newbee will win at least one of the next 2 games. So I think Newbee win this series. It's just whether it goes to game 5 or not. Who knows?
All right, guys. Well, it was 51-49, so it's not going to be a huge rare apocalypse if somebody loses, but we'll see. It goes the distance, perhaps. Game 4 is coming up next. Newbee currently leading the set 2-1. It's a best of 5. You're watching the CDEC New Star Challenge. I'm LD. He's Gods. We'll be right back.